Papa Brad. Welcome to the iiRcadians, the show for fans of the iiRcade. While you're here, don't forget to slam that like button. And why don't you subscribe to the channel? It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. Thank you. And on with the show. iiRcadians assemble.
This is iiRcade.
All right, iiRcadians assemble for the first episode of iiRcadians Retro. We got a special guest with us today. Introduce yourself.
Punk Rock Dave.
You got Punk Rock Dave, and of course, you've got Papa Brad right here. This is a new show format I'm going to try. Very simple rules. We're going to review. It's called iiRcadians Retro. Every game on the show will be pre-90s. We're going to review 4 games. 3 of them will be obscure arcade games you might not have heard of, and there will be one that pretty much everyone has heard of. All games are pre-90s, and this is just kind of a chill and chat, just a real casual, relaxed stream to join. So, welcome to the show. Hey, Raven, good to see you here. And let's talk about some games. We're going to go way in the Wayback Machine today. iiRcade has some really deep cuts, and the first game I want to discuss is the first Technos Japan game, which is Dommy. Punk Rock Dave, you played Dommy, right?
Yeah, I was playing it earlier in the week. I was playing it.
Now,
It's cool. I mean, you can kind of tell it's. I'm just bringing it up here. You can tell that it's got a little bit of like that eggs thing.
It's actually a sequel to Eggs
going on.
And the first time I played it, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, this is the dumbest game ever. Like, I had no idea what to do. I was walking around. There were these dominoes, which just seemed to be random. I had no idea how to play the game, and I didn't really like it. My first impression was, this game is stupid. Then I learned all the rules and how to play the game, and I found out that I really love the game. It's like, I liked Eggs, and this is like Eggs, the sequel. It's even better than Eggs.
Yeah, I saw your video on it. And I probably would have looked at this and passed it up. Because like you said, you're like, what's going on here? I'm looking at it right now. Like, there's dominoes and guys with eyes and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. And you're kicking things. But you did a really good job of explaining how to play it.
Yeah. And I think that's a big part of like the reason why I wanted to do the show is like, I like retro games, but not everyone likes retro games. So if you dig these old games, this will be a good show for you just to tune in on. And get to see some of the games that are maybe too small to be on the regular iiRcadian show. And we'll start with Dommy. And this game, really, the first thing you need to learn is how to play it. There's a rule set you have to learn to play it, and let's take a look at it. This is Papa Brad coming at you with a brand new game. Released on the iiRcade, this is the game Dommy. This game was released by Technos Japan in 1983 and is a maze game. In this game, the player must push blocks onto the side of the screen while avoiding or stunning enemies. Here are the original arcade flyers that were sent out to arcade operators to find out about the game. As I start to explore some of the rare Technos Japan games that are on the iiRcade, I want to point out that this is only their fourth game that they made. Minkey Monkey was the first game in 1982, Zero Eyes 1983, Eggs were 1983, and Dommy were 1983. Then their first massive hit, which was Tag Team Wrestling. Technos is probably best known for the fantastic Double Dragon, Karate Champ, the wrestling games, Mat Mania, Tag Team Wrestling, Super Dodgeball, and Double Dragon series, all the Double Dragons, 1, 2, and 3, although I will say that 1 is probably my favorite Double Dragon, followed by what I consider to be their best beat-em-up, the Combat Tribes, which was released in 1990. But this is going way back in the timeline to the origins of where Technos Japan started. These games all, just like Atari cartridges, they're based on gameplay. And if you like retro, once you learn how these games work, they're a lot of fun and they can be very addicting. When I first played this game, I had no idea what was going on. So I kind of just got stuck on the first level, pushing dominoes around, not understanding the game. But once you understand the game, this game is a blast. Okay, so here's what's going on. You're the push man. Your objective is to push all the dominoes into a row. You basically are stacking the dominoes. Once you get a bunch stacked, you want to go to the blue and yellow arrow in the corner. And in order to progress through the label, you have to be the one that pushes the dominoes over. After a certain amount of time, the dominoes will fall over by themselves. But basically, you have to be the one pushing the dominoes. As you can see, I've pushed all the dominoes over, so I've just completed my first level. I'm now on to level 2 of the game Dommy. If the dominoes fall over by themselves, you get no progress towards finishing the level, and the dominoes reappear on the gameplay field. That is how the game works. So you can't wait forever to push them over. There's a greed factor, of course, because you want to stack as many dominoes as you can. This game is really fun. It's very colorful. It's very creative. Very cutesy. You know, if you like games like Mr. Do, I think you would like this. It's pretty fun. I would probably say it's more fun than Eggs because it has a lot more variations on the way the screens change and stuff. But that's my personal preference. Nothing against Eggs, because Eggs was the game that came out directly before this. So this is kind of like almost like a sequel to Eggs. You could think of it as that. I like the way the dominoes fly across the middle on this one. It's very cool. I like also that you get different enemies on the different levels. Something really cool happens at the end of this level. I'm not going to ruin it for you. Here I am. I'm pushing over the dominoes. Check out this cool dude. He walks across the screen. 3,000 points. He's just chilling. He's just chilling. He's going to get the other side and push over the rest of the dominoes. And that is it. Papa Brad moves on to the next level. It's time for scene 3 of the game Dommy on the iiRcade. How cool is this? I mean, I think this game is awesome. Someone that loves Atari cartridges, loves retro games, I'm digging this game. I can't wait to see where it goes as they get further. The high barrier to entry to this game really is understanding what is going on. Basically, you're pushing the dominoes to the left and right, stacking them up. You don't need to get them all, but you do. The more you get, the more bonus you get. You go to the yellow and blue arrow, push them over. The dominoes fall. Once you've toppled all the dominoes, your level is over. This is a fantastic retro game, easy to learn, hard to master. I'm going to say that if you like retro games, if you like 80s arcade, pick this one up. You will not be disappointed. It's an extremely cheap game with a lot of replay value. This is Papa Brad reminding you to stay legit. And there you go. That was Dommy. That was Dommy. And, you know, the funny thing with Dommy is, you know, right after I made the Dommy video, I had just ordered Killer Instinct. And my Killer Instinct came in, and for 2 days I played Dommy instead of building my Killer Instinct. So that's kind of my funny Dommy story. But great game, great retro game. Give it a chance. You know, you got to push the dominoes over. They stack up. And, you know, once you learn how to get through the levels, then you start completing the levels, the game becomes a lot more fun. Something else I discovered. Yeah, Dave.
Oh, I was going to say, you were like 100% right with like the greed mechanic of trying to build up all the dominoes in the line, right? Because it always gets me. Like I always try to like build it all the way up.
I know. I like one more, and then what happens is they all get reset and they all get thrown back out on the play field. And like sometimes you're better off just go ahead and go ahead and topple over most of them and then make a second run.
Yeah,
but there's something.
The little dude that comes out of the because there's that one little guy that'll come out and then knock all the dominoes over. Like he always gets.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and this game is really it's simple, but it's fun. And one of the cool things I never knew with iiRcade, check this out. When you look at the screen to go into the game, do you notice the way where it shows the joystick? It shows 4 arrows. And that means it's a 4-directional gate that the original game had. If you look where the joystick is, it has 4 arrows, and then the games that have 8 ways have 8 arrows. So you can actually know before you even start the game if it's a 4-way or an 8-way game. And let me pop myself back on. I wanted to show you that because that's something I never even knew that iiRcade did that. I thought
never noticed it until you just said it. And that's going to make things a lot easier, right? Because I don't. You have
absolutely.
You have the switcher, like the mechanical switcher.
Once you get this here, this is the uplay. This is the one for the gold cab, which I just got. Uplay makes these. This will give you perfect 4-way control. So when you're playing these classic old school games, you pop this in, it's amazing. So like, you know, this is almost like a must-have. Like if you want to play and you want to have absolutely perfect controls, it's a really smart system. It doesn't hurt anything. You just pop it in and it changes your gate to a 4-way gate. But shout out to iiRcade for making this cool product. It helps us all out as retro gamers. But that was the first game I wanted to talk about. Dommy is a lot of fun. Like I said, the first time I played it, I had no idea. I never even got past the first level because I didn't even know how you get through a level. And what you have to do is stack the dominoes. When they're all stacked up, you go to the top corner and you push them over. And that's how you move through the levels. Okay, the next game I want to discuss is another real old school game. This game is actually Technos Japan's first game. This game is called Minkey Monkey. And this game is like 80s hard. Like it seems like it's so simple and cutesy, and then you play it and it's a beast. What did you find when you played it, Dave?
Well, so you'd played this for like a weekend straight. You were talking about this Minkey Monkey game, and I'm like, what's going on with this thing? So I downloaded it.
It's a very cool game.
And started playing it, and it's pretty fun once you learn it's patterns, right?
Yeah,
it's
definitely a pattern game.
The same pattern. So once you kind of get the hang of those patterns, you can quickly bounce across all the different ropes to do either go up or down, whichever one it asks you to do.
And this game is super old. This is like when Pac-Man, not even Miss Pac-Man. This is when like Pac-Man was in the arcades. So that's how far back this game goes. Of course, Technos Japan went on to make Double Dragon and a bunch of other really super popular games, but this is the very first game they made. And let's check out Minkey Monkey from Technos Japan. It's their first game. Today I'm bringing you a deep cut inside the iiRcade library, a game which I'm currently in 3rd place on the global leaderboards. This is my review of Minkey Monkey. Minkey Monkey is a very interesting game. The first thing you need to know about this game is it's basically a very old game. It was created in 1982, and this was the first Technos Japan game ever made. They later went on, of course, to create Double Dragon, which is a modern, retro masterpiece. Everyone loves Double Dragon. This is kind of where they started, though. We'll talk a little bit about the gameplay. You're the little red dude, and what you got to do is you got to move the fruit into the boxes. It tells you what fruit you need to move. It usually appears on different sides, so you kind of have to go back and forth while an enemy chases you. At the top, Minkey Monkey, he's telling you what to do. To get a good score, you want to go fast. You can drink the beer, and if you drink the beer, you can then kill the enemy. Now, the fruit is interesting in that you can only miss it 5 times. So the enemy is destroying the fruit while you're trying to save it. And definitely getting through the level fast is how you're going to score big. Like, watch my bonus score on this. 6,200. That's a lot of points. It is debated whether this game came out in 1982 or 1983. And this game had a little bit of a rocky start as Technos was sued by Data East for borrowing resources for this game, but apparently it was all worked out. Of course, Technos went on to make Double Dragon. This is definitely one of those games where it looks simple till you're actually playing it, and there's actually a lot of strategy involved. It's very intense because the enemy is always just like right by you. Like most of these classic early 80s games, easy to learn, difficult to master is what these games are about. And this one's really no exception. It is rewarding when you get the beer because enemy chases you around and he really destroys the fruit quick. Which really, I mean, sometimes you'll just get killed because they got 5 pieces of fruit and destroyed it. There, get the beer, get the beer. And you can see that will allow you to get the enemy. A box appears where you're supposed to take the fruit so you know where to go. Basically, you're either taking it to the right or the left side. This game does have online leaderboards, which is really awesome. So that will, you know, makes you want to compete for sure. The enemy that chases you can shoot too, which is another thing that creates extra pressure on you while you're playing the game. See there, I missed the bonus, so this is definitely not going to be a high score game for me. But give this game a try, it's pretty fun, and it's really a cheap game, it's not expensive at all. And this game is on the iiRcade sale right now, but even at regular price, this is a really inexpensive game. It is a fun game to a high score chase too. Let's see if I can get into the #1 position on this game. Get the beer. Monitoring your success and failure rate becomes pretty important in the later levels, as you know, you can lose lives just from not getting enough fruit fast enough. This dragon is really getting on my nerves too, him coming up and blocking from where I need to go. You can see here I'm in real danger. I've got a failure of 4, so if I lose one more fruit, I'm gonna get killed just because they got 5 fruit destroyed. And if you're watching some videos of high-level play of this game, it is possible. It's just you have to be on it. It's really a great game for strategy because there is a lot to it. Lost the last life because of 5 fruits. It is interesting to me that this company would go on to basically invent the beat-em-up genre with Double Dragon. And this is the humble beginnings of Technos Japan. Enemies all over you. This has been Papa Brad. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Minkey Monkey, the first game. There you go. That was Minkey Monkey, the first game from Technos Japan. I put out a vote for the last game. Then we'll drop a game that we consider a banger. Now we did a vote, and the iiRcade community itself has decided that we are going to continue using this word for our top game. So we're stuck with bangers. What do you think of that, Dave? We made a humble effort, but you know,
yeah,
in the end, I have to go with what the community likes. We love our bangers. We love them.
You know, I don't think bangers was that bad of a term for it. I really don't.
It's a little odd, but it does invite people to make fun of the iiRcade community because we're like the only group that calls our games bangers. But hey, it makes us unique, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll blame Rainwater for the whole fetch thing. Like, but he was really hoping for fetch. Fetch. We had to kill it. Oh, wait a minute. We got a super chat. I got to read this super chat. Hold on. I'm not used to doing this. I don't get many. Let's see. Here it is. Let's see. Gunther Vincent. Thank you so much, buddy. Show by the community for the community. For sure. And check out the iiRcade Zone. That's Gunther's show. It's a great show. That's the official iiRcade show. And if I can find where this Baby Yoda thing I just put up was, I'll take it down. No. But yeah. Okay, there we go. Found it. Okay. So we're on to the last one. I gotta go check. Let's see how the vote came out. Look at this. We're in a dead tie. Chameleon got 50%. I have 2 games left. We're going to show one of these games today, then we're going to move on to our game that's a banger and wrap it up. We got 2 games left. We have Chameleon and China Gate. We're at a 50-50 tie. Let's see. Someone vote, please. Let me refresh. Let's see if it changes. Which one is China Gate?
Chinagate is like a beat 'em up with levels that okay, so we're tied. You know, we can handle this. Dave, we're gonna rock, paper, scissors on stream. Ready?
All
Are
right.
you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah.
Okay, Ready?
Yeah.
Rock. We got to do it with me. Put your hands like Z. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors.
Shoot. What'd you shoot? You threw paper too.
Paper.
I threw paper also.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right. One more time. I threw scissors.
Scissors. Hold on. I'm looking at the. I'm like, why am I behind? I'm looking at the stream. Hold on. Okay. Ready? One more time. Ready?
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Scissors, cut paper.
All right.
Let's go with Chameleon. Let's go with Chameleon. Chameleon's cool.
That's a different name though, doesn't it? Like there's two names to it.
No. Chinagate has two names.
Yeah.
Chameleon is the one. It's kind of just has one name. So we'll check out Chameleon.
Okay.
I mean, really, we could check out both. This video is like 4 minutes long.
Let's go with Chameleon and then we'll put Chinagate up.
Let's just do it. Let's just go for broke. Let's just do them both because they're both 4 minutes each.
All right.
This is Papa Brad, and today we're going to take a look at the game Chameleon, a game released by Jalico in 1983, and now available on the iiRcade. Chameleon is a single-screen arcade platformer. You play the role of a chameleon that wants to eat all the hen's eggs. Hens are placed in nests, platforms, and girders throughout the levels of this game. This game has 4 levels. As a chameleon, you can use your tongue to both pull yourself up to the next platform, to eat eggs, and to attack enemies. All the while, the hens are attacking you, swooping in, and sometimes rolling flashing eggs, which cannot be destroyed at you. At the top, there's a big vulture who's also throwing baseballs at you. Oh, here you go. Here's a yellow baseball frozen at the end of the level. Here is an original flyer that was used to advertise the game Chameleon. Once all the eggs are eaten and all the birds are killed, it's on to the next screen. This is a very colorful platform game. In this level, I usually try to kill the chickens really fast. It makes it a lot easier. And you notice this level has girders. There are 4 different levels in the game. Always got to be careful with the yellow baseballs, because just like the wild barrels in Donkey Kong, they can come and sneak up on you and hit you. So you always got to be watching what the vulture's doing in the top left corner of the game. The 4 different levels all require different strategies. They have different layouts, and that adds to the replay value of the game. As I'm working my way through round 3, gobbling some eggs, Chameleon can shoot his tongue. Saves you some space. Whenever you're eating an egg, though, you can't use your tongue to defend yourself from the chickens or hens. So the gameplay mechanics are pretty interesting in this game. You want to get the eggs. You saw that when he started flashing, he did one of those eggs that you can't destroy. So you always got to be looking for an escape route. And I'm making my way into the 4th level. The levels to me get progressively more difficult. The 4th level by far is the hardest. He's just going to be pitching baseball after baseball at me. But this is a pretty fun game. If you're into retro games and you like 80s type games, you might want to check this one out. Kind of a sleeper. It is 80s hard, so this is not an easy game. This is definitely one of those games that's easy to play but difficult to master. And it definitely falls into what I would call the 80s classic game genre. If you've never checked this one out before, it's a super cheap game. I think it's pretty fun. I like it. It's called Chameleon. It is available on iiRcade right now. This has been Papa Brad with a quick mini review of Chameleon. If you like this kind of content, you like retro gaming, you like the iiRcade, consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that thumbs up. And as always, Stay legit. And stay legit. Oh, hey, what's up? So, yeah, that was Chameleon. That was Chameleon. Dave, what do you think of Chameleon?
I think I really like the bird, right? Like because I'd seen I played Donut Dodo first, right? And then I saw Chameleon, and it was really nice to see like where sort of that came from.
Mm-hmm.
I think out of the 3 games we talked about so far, Chameleon for me is the most difficult. I don't know why, right?
I think the movement, like because you're moving up and down the girder beams and you're going straight up and down. The other thing with Chameleon is you got to get used to whenever you eat the eggs, there's like a delay where you're unable to do anything.
Yeah, I get stuck.
You really have to take your pay attention to when you're gobbling up them eggs. And I think it is a very cool game. It is challenging though. It is challenging, and just like in Donkey Kong when they throw the stray barrels, when you get on that stage where he's just pitching those baseballs at you, I mean that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, it's one of the all 3 of those games are really cool because once you kind of get into that groove of playing it, you can crush it, right?
I know, and
it's figuring that out and finding your rhythm in those games. That before you do that, you're going to get really frustrated. But
they're fun to come back to too. And the thing is, when you start learning, like you really have to learn the screens. Like on one screen, I know you can take the Chameleon's tongue and you can shoot up to the next level. Like you can use the tongue to kind of like cheat and move around the screen in ways that are faster and confuse the enemies. So that's one of the things I like about Chameleon. We have a $10 super chat. Wow, from Retro Arcade Music Man. Legit. Enough said. Happy holidays and happy New Year, Papa Brad. Thank you so much, Retro Arcade Music Man, the huge friend of the channel. Be sure to go check out his channel. He's always doing awesome streams where he plays really great music. And, Retro Arcade Music Man is a legit retro gamer. When you say so, Dave, I mean, that guy, he knows how to play some retro games.
Yes, he does.
This is actually live, Biggie D. What's happening, Biggie D? Welcome to the stream. This is completely live. Raven, how you doing, buddy? Let's do some shout outs to chat. We got a lot of cool people in here, actually. I'm surprised in the middle of the afternoon we were able to get all these people to watch this, but we got Rainwater, we got Raven, we got Gunther, we got Steve B. Herb Wars stopped in. We have Tim's Tiny Arcade, Mike H. Pretty cool for a midday stream. Thank you for watching, and I think I got everyone. And Biggie D, Biggie D. Retro said he saw Raven on his stream last night. Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. We have a nice, small, tight-knit community. I think it's pretty cool. This next game was actually known in the United States as China Gate. It has another name, which I can't pronounce too well. But it's a... Yeah, I can't pronounce it. But I just gave up. I just call it China Gate. But this game was introduced to me by Jong. Jong said I should check it out. This game, you can play 2 players co-op too, which is really fun. But this is a pretty crazy cool game. Let's check out. This is only a 4-minute video, so this is a real short one. But this is the game China Gate on iiRcade. All these games are early 80s games so far. This is another super early 80s game. So you got to remember the technology when this was out. I mean, we're talking like there was stuff like, Galaxian, Pac-Man. I mean, there's very primitive games out when this came out.
This one was early 80s because it doesn't look early 80s. Like out of
maybe I'm thinking of Minkey, Monkey, Chameleon. Maybe this one was a little later, but the ones previously that we saw, those were very early 80s games.
Yeah, this one was a lot.
This one might be a little bit later. Let's find out.
Yeah, this genre. Oh, sorry. There's another one. Sayugo Maroku.
Yes.
That one is Journey to the West. Son Goku. If you guys like Dragon Ball, this is the this is.
It's
a game
like Double Dragon, but instead of fighting, you're going up. You're moving upwards, climbing up higher and higher.
Exactly. It is a beat 'em up game. 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional. I'm sorry. You're going up, down, and left, right, so 3-dimensional. beat 'em up game starring Journey's West, starring the original Son Goku, that Dragon Ball was inspired from. It's a great game. This game is very, very popular in the Asian region. If you go into like websites, this game, right? If you like Asian websites, for example, like this game is all over.
We played that one on here.
Top game.
Like one show when we went really long, we popped that one on because Cuddles really enjoys that game.
Yeah, the 6-hour show, I watched the whole thing.
if Cuddles enjoys the game, then hey, it must be really good. He's a pretty harsh critic.
Yeah, but this is a genre that everybody enjoys. I would recommend everybody to at least have a look at every game that's on here. See which one you like.
Pick up all the Sega titles.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the Segas that I don't have. I think there's only 2 that we don't have out of the whole list. So. This is Papa Brad, and after a complete playthrough of the game, I'm ready to talk about it. This game was one that I had never played before, so it was brand new to me. Decided to play it after a recommendation from John. The game in the United States was known as China Gate. This game, which is basically a beat 'em up, you can choose between 3 different playable characters. You have to beat all the enemies, and then go to the top of the level, and then you will have a boss battle for each level in the game. The game was released in 1988 by Technos Japan. Here I am getting to one of the sub-levels. There's a lot of boss fights in this game, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about it. You have the lightning. This boss was super cool. You have a bunch of arms, and each time that you get enough hits, an arm falls off. After you've gotten enough arms off of this boss, the boss then transforms. Here we go. All the arms are gone. Now you see you have the 3-headed boss. Pretty cool staged boss fight. Here you have the brain. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Children, just say no to drugs. And you're getting the book, which completes the game. Object of the game was to rescue the book. This is a pretty fun game. Right now, I believe it's on sale, so check it out. If you like beat 'em ups, this is a fun one. This is a very good co-op game. Does not have online, does not have leaderboards. But if you're looking for a good co-op game to play that you've never played before, you're willing to try something different, give this one a spin. This has been Papa Brad, reminding you to stay legit. And that was China Gate. And that game has online play. I've never played it online. Have you played it online, Dave? Because I think it would be a lot more fun to play a 2-player co-op. See, I'm not getting any sound. Is your mic on?
There we go. All right. So
Okay.
I only played that game twice. Once when I got it, and then once while you were rolling the Chameleon video.
Okay, yeah. We need to play sometime online. I want to run through that game online and see how it plays online. But it's pretty fun. It's kind of, it is a beat 'em up. It kind of reminds me of like kind of like a Double Dragon type game. It's pretty fun. So I think definitely sometime we need to play that one online for sure.
I'm down.
Is anyone that and that one is online enabled. We have from Raven. He said the moves on those sprites are pretty good for 1988. Like I said, all these games, these are all classic arcade games. These are from like the 80s. Trying to keep everything on the show pre-90s.
Did you notice on Chameleon on that first screen, like the main splash screen, when it's doing all the thing, they spelled copyright wrong.
Did they?
They spelled copyright.
Oh, copyright. They have some English.
Yeah, it's copyright on it.
That's cool.
From the video.
It's actually so cool that now new companies try to do that on purpose because that was such a cool thing that the old companies did. Like, where was, do I still have it in here? I had a picture. Here it is. Check this out. What's it say?
This story is happy end.
Yeah, congratulations. This story is happy end. And that's definitely a shout out to that kind of thing. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think it was Chameleon that was doing that. It was either Chameleon or Minkey Monkey. One of the two.
Yeah, that's cool. That's definitely super cool. Okay, so now we're going to discuss the we had our retro hits. Now we're going to discuss our banger. You ready to talk about the banger?
Sure.
Obviously the first episode, would there be any doubt what game I would want to talk about first? I mean, can you guess, Dave? Because Dave doesn't know. Dave just showed up. I said, Dave, you want to come on a show?
I can guess.
And Dave right now is sitting in his own very own retro arcade in his basement. Like, if you look around him, there's arcades all around him. Yeah, go ahead and just pan real quick. He's got machines all over the place in his basement. And Dave's a legitimate retro gamer. He loves classic arcade games. So what game do you think I would pick for my first show?
I mean, I know you'd have to pick Space Invaders.
Yeah, I had to. And the thing about Space Invaders with iiRcade is, and you know what? Tim said Tropical Angel. That was a really good guess. That's one I should showcase. That's another. Tropical Angel was my second video I ever did for YouTube. So I don't know if I want to show that video now. Like, now when I watch that video, I kind of cringe a little bit, but it's kind of funny to see where you came from. But Tropical Angel is actually the second video I made for YouTube. Tropical Angel for me is a huge hit. But
Tropical Angel was like the first game I remember seeing on the iiRcade that I remember seeing somebody really into score chasing.
Yeah.
In all of like the Facebook groups and stuff like that. Was it Haworth that was doing it?
Yeah, Todd.
Or it was Todd.
Todd Russell?
Yeah, Todd Russell. Yeah, he was like just
I think he's got like a world record score on Tropical Angel now.
Yeah.
He's amazing at that game. And that's another one of those games. It's like so simple. You look at it, you don't think it would be that hard, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. And these retro games, I mean, that's how the good ones are easy to learn but difficult to master. I wanted to show you something. I pulled up Sayugo Maroko. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I just call it China Gate. But remember when I was telling you about the joysticks and how you know if you need to use the 4-way gate? If you look at this game and you look around the joystick, you'll see that it has the eight arrows. So that's a really cool feature that I never knew was built into the iiRcade. That's a feature that, like us retro gamers, we can take advantage of that and make sure we have the right controls for when we play the games. Because having the 4-way gate, it does make a big difference on like playing the game. You're not going to blow moves that you might not. If you don't have the 4-way gate, sometimes you'll make accidental moves. So, but I thought it was pretty cool. Something I learned really pretty recently. I think within the past 2 weeks. I never knew that existed, that feature.
It's gonna help me because I always get involved in these games where I'm either like in the middle of the game trying to put the restrictor on or trying to pull it off.
Gate, yeah.
Yeah.
Rainwater says I can store arcades in freezing temperatures as long as I don't turn them on, right? And how's the weather? Yeah. Is it super cold? Are you in the cold freeze?
I don't know. For me, I think I'm at like -4, -5 right now.
Is that like really high for what you normally be, or is that like normal?
We get like a week or two in like February maybe that it gets cold. But it's cold. I mean, I would say, I'm in Western Pennsylvania, so we're around this time. I would say maybe like the low 30s. Like it would be enough snow to be on the ground, and it'd be a nice Christmas. But it's really cold with the wind chills like -40.
Wow. Well, I'm in Louisiana. I mean, we can, I can't walk out in shorts today, but I mean, it doesn't really get that cold here compared to like what you're dealing with, especially what Jeff was dealing with. Jeff sent me a picture. It looked like he was in a blizzard. It was crazy. It's like I can't have this every day.
Mikey J's probably freezing as well.
Tim says there's a -40-degree wind chill where he's at. Well, you need to stay inside, Tim. Play some of them games. By the way, if you haven't checked out Tim's Tiny Arcade, that is one of my favorite YouTube channels. I check out every video he does. I mean, go subscribe to Tim. He's got some fantastic content.
He does some good reviews too.
He does good reviews, and I like he also sometimes like a game will release and he'll just like hop on and play it so people can see what it looks like, which is great. But yeah, Tim's Tiny Arcade is awesome.
I like his intro
channel.
with the Boom Shakalaka guy.
I do too with the NBA Jam guy, Kitro, huh? Is it Tim Kitro or something like that? So okay, well, do we want to have a word from our sponsor this show, or do we just want to go to the last game?
Word from the sponsor. You got to pay the bills, right?
I got to pay the bills. Sorry. If there's little kids, you might want to cover their ears. This might get a little rough.
What a peaceful day in Eternia. Guard duty is easy.
Wrong place, wrong time, huh, Mechaneck? Give me the loot, bitch.
I don't got nothing, I promise.
I'm not trying to hear that shit. You know what time it is. This is a robbery. Give me everything you got or your ass is dead.
Hey, Skeletor, I'm telling the truth. I don't got nothing. Help me, man, help me. Skeletor's trying to kill me.
What's going on down there, huh? Who called me? Mechaneck, is that you? What's your ass want? Hey, what's up, He-Man? What's up, bitch? What do you want now? I'm gonna torture his ass, He-Man, until you give me what I want. I want that liquor. Give it up, or he's dead.
No, I can't die, no.
Better help him soon, He-Man. I'm gonna do it.
What's taking you so long, He-Man? Help me. I don't want to die today.
You sure you want the good guys, Mechaneck? Cause you sound like a bitch. I'm not helping your ass.
He-Man, please, I'm not prepared for this. He's in a big-ass shark tank. I don't know what to do, but I need you to help.
Yeah, I got all the help you need with this big-ass cannon, but I'm not wasting it on your bitch ass. You's a bitch. You gonna die a bitch. Bye. See you later. He's all yours, Skeletor.
This is so fucked up, He-Man.
It's fucked up your ass as a bitch. Well, I guess your mind's made up, He-Man. Come here, Mechaneck, you little bitch.
No,
you
I don't
belong to me now.
Help me. Somebody.
Thanks, He-Man.
Someone help. No.
Hurry up and die, bitch. Hurry up and stop breathing. Damn, He-Man. You cold as ice, man. That's fucked up. It's hard to find good help these days, huh? You know better than me, right, bitch? How many of your people I had to kill? At the end of the day, all Mechaneck was a bitch with a long-ass neck, and I don't need that shit in Castle Grayskull. I need your ass to get the fuck off my property now. Take your win and get the fuck out. Hey, I don't need no trouble, He-Man. I'll take these wins where I can get them. I'll take this bitch off your hands. Thanks again, He-Man. Bye. No trouble here. See you next time. That shit's a win in my book. One last bitch to deal with. Ha 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 ha.
Landshark vehicle is new from the Masters of the Universe collection. Not for use with some figures. Action figures each sold separately. From Mattel.
Massive shout out to Mr. Home Arcade, who was the winner of our Most Creative YouTuber Award for the iiRcadians Award Show. We are very grateful for everything you're doing for the iiRcadians. We appreciate you greatly, buddy. And now on to the banger. Definitely the game that I think for me, like, I actually have a Space Invaders cabinet. So, like, this was the first arcade game that I ever played. And so it's really, for me, this was a very significant game. Having like an iiRcade that is so retro themed, I mean, that's kind of why I wanted to do a retro show. I mean, my iiRcade screams retro. Like when you look at it with the Space Invaders graphics, I mean, it looks like it, you know, an old arcade, which is what I love. So let's check this out. It's finally here, Space Invaders for the iiRcade. Let's check it out. First, I'm going to show some black and white footage. You can easily also switch to color. The thing that's great about this game is you can change between the different gels, backdrops, and bezels all on the fly. This is how you pay homage, how you pay respect to a classic game. This game was not rushed. This game was painstakingly made to really give the ultimate home Space Invaders experience. Someone who's played this game for my whole life, since I first played it in the Kmart, first arcade game I ever played, I know this game pretty well. And I can say that this plays basically as a high-definition version. My capture card doesn't really do this game justice. It's so sharp and clear. The sound is perfected. You know, the sound difference between the Mothership and the Space Invaders is EQ'd. It's balanced better. This is how you optimize a classic arcade game to get the best experience. This game is an example of what can happen when you don't rush games out the door and you take the time to make the game right. With this game, I was really concerned about emulation, so I played Space Invaders on my MAME arcade for a good hour. And then I spent another good 2 hours playing this game to compare them. For me, the iiRcade version is going to be my preferred way to play Space Invaders at home. It's just so much better. The resolution, the way that the game plays, they really nailed it. It's the arcade experience at home. Optimization that makes the difference. Then they come in with a really great price of $7.99. I mean, this game is worth every penny of that and then some. If you're into retro games, this is a must-buy for the iiRcade, and it's a huge achievement for them. iiRcade has been a platform with the best shmups on it. Now they have the one that started it all. And they did a fantastic job with it. Overall, I would say that iiRcade Space Invaders is the best home experience I've had playing the original Space Invaders arcade game. Attention to detail is what makes this version of Space Invaders so incredible. I mean, just everything about it is premium. And me personally, I'm glad I'm getting a gold cab for this game. This is definitely a huge win for iiRcade, and I'm glad that they have this version of Space Invaders on their machines. If you're a fan of classic arcades, I don't see how you could not have this on your iiRcade. It's that good. Also, leaderboard support will be coming soon, so there will be competitive play. You can play and have your score put on a leaderboard. So this is a very strong, I would say almost S-tier game for iiRcade. There are a few areas that I think could be improved. The main thing I think they could improve on this game, which is very close to getting a perfect score from me, is to add button support for left and right movement and shooting. The original... Okay, so let me go back to this video. When I made this video, the game did not have button support. So they actually added the button support right after they released it. So they added it in. So we get button support with Space Invaders. I did see some comments. Yeah, I do agree. Space Invaders is really a score-chasing game. And I'm not sure what's holding up the leaderboards. But we really do need to see leaderboards in these classic arcade games, that like the ones I'm showcasing, and we really need to see it in Space Invaders. I think an issue with Space Invaders, we have players that can roll over the score, so they're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. You know, what do you think, Dave? Dave, you're muted.
I'm on my phone, so
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so they did a really good job with it. It's one of the better looking games when you load it up on the machine. Like the bezel is great, just all the colors are great. As far as the score chasing aspect of it, they should figure out a way to roll it over. Like if you're playing pinball, like some of those pinball machines,
like the old ones, the scores rolled over. The old the old ones with reels.
Right, but you can roll them over on the virtual ones too, but it will keep track of that rollover. So when you go to post to the leaderboard, you know, if it rolls over to 100,000 and you get, or like 999,000 and you get 1 million, it'll still post that you got 1 million or 2 million or 3 million. It can keep track of that rollover. It shouldn't be that difficult, I would think.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder why like we don't have the leaderboards by now. I would have thought it wouldn't have taken that long to get the leaderboards, but I mean,
Maybe there's just a lot of
hopefully they're
stuff they're
working on it.
dealing with. You know,
I
like
know.
I mean, what didn't Michael program this thing himself?
Yeah, this was like a handmade. This is like a custom-made Space Invaders, pixel by pixel. It had to be perfect to get Taito's approval.
So if Michael's the team, right, the one guy team,
it's a one-person job. Yeah,
right. He's working on everything else, right? He's doing game days and going to conventions and
I know
making sure Jong has.
How's he gonna have time to do that too?
Yeah, I mean, we have the game, right, and it plays well. It's a very, it's like a perfect like a perfect version of that game. So that's a win.
Yeah, Dragon Gamer, and Dragon Gamer is a very experienced. He has a ton of arcade knowledge about real arcade machines, especially rare arcade machines. But he says, then again, out of the top 100 games of all time, it is number 7 on the list, above Pac-Man, and it did start the arcade game craze. Yeah, and if they would not have made such a special, incredible version, like if they would have just ported like the Space Invaders we get on a Raspberry Pi, I don't think anyone would like have the excitement we have for this game. You know, Dave?
Yeah, and so the price on this
it's a unique version that's only on iiRcade.
And this was what, it's $10 on the iiRcade, right?
I think so.
Yes, I saw a post today. Someone posted a receipt of they bought, it was back when they bought a 2600, right? So it was a 2600, it was like $120. They bought Casino for like $30, Asteroids and Space Invaders for like $21 back in what, 80 free or whatever, right? And like we have this version for $10. They said that in the post too. So
look at that. It's within hand's reach. That's how much I still love like the Atari Space Invaders. That was the killer app. Atari 2600 was made to play combat and Pong. The fact that they made a version of Space Invaders that is as good as the 2600 version, like I will still put this on and like my grandkids will play it. Like that's amazing to me because this is like, this is so old. Look at that.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I would play that on the 2600.
Insane.
Every day I would come home from school, I would play that till I rolled the score over, and then play Asteroids.
Yeah, my grandkids told me leave these 3 out. Like these three, they said don't even put them up because when we come over, we're playing. You see which one this is?
Is that Warlord?
Warlords. And then the other one, Yar's Revenge.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because like I don't even put these up anymore because every time they come over, they want to play. And then they like the co-op games. I think like if we could get more co-op games, that would be a huge benefit for iiRcade too. Like more games that they can be old retro games, but if we can play online, like I definitely am enjoying the online on the iiRcade. Rainwater says Warlords is cool. Yeah, it is cool when you use the paddles and the original controllers. We have Booter. He says if he's not mistaken, there's a version on the Legends that has leaderboards. I believe it does. The version on the iiRcade is different. It is a custom, unique version of Space Invaders. But yeah.
Here's what I don't understand.
The arcade version as well, just lacking the leaderboards. And I agree. I really want them to get the leaderboards on the game. Leaderboards are super important for people that are into classic games because we like the score chase. I mean, if I see Punk Rock Dave or Jeff or Brooklyn Menace and I'm close to their score, I'm going to want to play again because that's just the nature of like me. I like to try to see how I stack up to the other players.
I always just gun for you.
Yeah, gun for me. Yeah. I used to think I was fairly decent until like then when the Sharks came, like we got Nyx and Corrupt Neuron and
I don't even try this.
Yeah, like now I feel like I need to go to the little kids table because those gamers are on a whole different level than I thought I was okay until I saw them play and how well they do. So, but glad like get us the good players. We want the good players on iiRcade. Come to this platform.
I don't understand how Nyx does it. Like he just like sees like how to play the game and how to just crush those scores. Like it blows me away.
Yeah, he takes it in when he watches. Like even if he hasn't played a game before, like he'll watch someone play it and like he just immediately picks it up. But I mean that's talent. I mean that's just talent. He's been a gamer for a long time. So, Well, that pretty much wraps up what I had. We had all the classic games, and we ended with Space Invaders. Thank you so much for joining me, Dave. I appreciate you just hanging out with me in your arcade and talking about some of these classic games that are available on the iiRcade. If you're into 80s games, we'll probably do another one of these eventually, and just check it out when it airs. But I'd like to thank everyone for showing up here.
A lot of these games aren't that expensive. Like
they're very cheap. $5.
$5, and you have a half an hour. So, like, I would say just buy it, give it that half an hour, right? Or set a 24-minute timer, right? And try to figure it out, or like look at some of your videos, and then play them and see if you're into them. Because like I would have passed up Minky Monkey. I would have passed up Dommy. Those games are great. Yeah.
Eggs is another one. But there's a ton of these cool 80s games, and we're probably going to be covering some of them on the show. So, but anyway, thank you. I appreciate everyone coming here.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. I did make a special thing. Let me pull it up. I did make this for the show. I make all this stuff and I even forget to show it because I have so much in my StreamYards. I need to get rid of a bunch of stuff, but yeah. Happy holidays, nerds. This is a Boba Fett from the Star Wars special. And thank you. Here we go. This is Papa Brad, and I'm proud to announce that my channel now has memberships. If you would like to support the iiRcadians show or Papa Brad's gaming on the crazy arcade adventures he goes on, you can do so. I have 3 different levels: iiRcadians Illuminati, the iiRcadians Inner Circle, and the iiRcadians High Council. We've got exclusive content that you'll only be able to view in each category. So if you enjoy what my channel does, and you want to give us a little support, help pay for the StreamYards and the expenses of doing the show, this is a completely optional thing, and I'm just putting it out there. So thank you. This is Papa Brad's Gaming, reminding you to stay legit. Get off of me, this ain't no humble brag. I want you to hear words, you can say them back. I want you to feel free from the chains at last, and to believe in what you got, it was built to last, yeah. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I had to do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I've got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always All right.